Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Pink and Purpose, where pink meets purpose, and we are out here writing our pink print. I'm sharing my healing journey with you in hopes that I can encourage someone. I can help someone just like me who has gone through or is going through something similar, who want to heal, who may not feel like they can heal, who may not feel like there's a way out. Well, I'm here to tell you, I am living, walking proof that there is a way other than the way that you may think that you can go. Do me a favor, hit that notification bell so you never miss the episode. I want to share my story with you. So leave me a comment, drop a like, a heart, a thumbs up, whatever you feel, to let me know you can relate and that what I'm doing is helping you. If I just get one like, I'm happy. I'm not on it or in it for subscribers and followers and all the money. Like my journey, I believe I'm meant to help someone. And if I can just help one person, I'm so happy with that. Anyway, last week I dropped a lot on you. I gave you a lot, and I know it's a little heavy. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep sharing. This is about the healing. This is about me letting you know where I am. But in order for me to go where I'm going, I have to remember where I came from. Fast forwarding, I talked about college. I talked about some of the things I went through younger, how I grew up a PK, things like that. You can go back to all the episodes and hear my story from there. But going forward, after dating and leaving college dorms and finding my way to having to pick up all the pieces and move out and start over, I call myself really sitting here trying to continue dating. That should have been it. I should have been done at that point, but nope. Here I go, like, nope, I've got to find love. It's out here. It's for me. Yeah. I started dating one of my childhood friend who had this huge crush on me growing up. So I was like, well, whatever. Let's give it a try. It can't be that bad, right? Wrong. So I dated him, did a long distance relationship because he got a scholarship out of state to play sports, and had to travel back and forth to see me. I don't know why I thought the relationships here in Atlanta didn't work. Why would I then try something outside of? That was crazy. But to my stupidity, I said, let me try it anyway. Well, we were okay. We were talking. I understood he had games, sports. I had life going on, work, school. I was taking classes at this point because I couldn't focus to be a full time student. I dropped down to be part time and living off campus. He's coming to visit and he's like, babe, I could come see you more if I had a car. I can't find a car in my price range. I can't afford it. I'm a college student. I'm broke. All that hooping and hollering. So what do? No, I ain't learned my lesson yet. So I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, I need help him get a car. Can you sell him your car? Do it for a cheaper rate because he can't afford it. My dad like, I'm not doing that. And I'm like, please, please. So I'm going in trying to get my dad to sell this car. So he finally gives in. He didn't really want the car. It wasn't like he was doing anything with it. It was just sitting. So he sold him the car. Long story short, his very first visit up here, which was, might I add, a month after he got that car, that man ain't come back up here for a whole month. I should have known then it was a red flag. But he came up here, picked me up. We were getting ready to go to dinner. I reach over, I hug him, and then I pull the visor down because I now need to look at my face, make sure I'm cute or whatever the case may be. And a picture falls out of him and another girl kissing in the same car. So he has a whole relationship down at the school he's in and used me to get a car so he can take her around and do. I felt so stupid. I had to be the dumbest woman I knew for doing something like that. I was so irritated. I was so hurt. I was so frustrated. I stopped talking to him. I was upset. He didn't seem that bothered. He went back to school and I never saw him again, which is crazy. I allowed myself in that very moment to be that desperate that I helped that man get a car to see somebody else. I'm talking just my life had just felt like it was just breaking, shredding, going into pieces. I just was doing everything wrong. So at this point I give up. I'm not dating. I suck at it. This is terrible. It's not for me. It just doesn't work for me. It works for everybody else, but it doesn't work for me. So I decide that I'm going to take a break. Well, why do it feel like the moment you decide you're going to take a break, people start coming at you? If I want to say about 5 months later, this guy starts talking to me. He's persistent. He wants to hang out. He wants to. And I'm like, at this point, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to take you serious. This isn't going to work for me. We can be cool or whatever. Just something to do, somebody to talk to. Because let's face it, no one really wants to just be by themselves. And that was the road I was headed down. I was working, going home. I left the church completely at this point. I didn't trust church. Church, I felt like they had guided me all wrong. Me getting saved was a joke because look at how my life is going. If anybody would have told me my life was going to be like that, I would have never took the dip. Okay? That's where I was. That's how I was feeling. I was blaming God for all the things that were happening to me. So fast forward, I meet this guy. We work together. He's never been in his house. He wasn't really coming to mine. We were meeting up at his friend's house, going out, hanging out, having a good time. Didn't think anything of it because I wasn't looking for anything serious at the moment. So just having fun was right up my alley. Well, of course, the feelings start. You start talking more. You start hanging out more. And you start getting a little deeper. You start trying to find out things. Well, in my digging deep to find out, he was married 6 months after we had been talking. And I'm like, what? How did you hide a whole wife? How did you hide a whole family? It got to the point where I was like, this just got to be my life. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. There is no way that there's anything better for me because I keep running into issues after issues, stupidity, making dumb decisions, not seeing the signs, not seeing red flags. I'm just out here. That doesn't end well. I get over that. I'm bored with that at this point. And that's when I met my ex-husband. Met again. I'll say again. We met before, but we lost touch. But we met again. We started talking. He talked about coming to do music here in Atlanta, things like that. I'm like, at this point, you know what? Why not? I am tired of getting this wrong. I am over it. Something is going to happen. I'm going to have a good relationship if I got to build one. Okay. At this point, I am over it. So I'm like, you know what? You want to come here? Come on. I'm going to come get you now. Where you at? Let's go. I had my own place. I had a car. I had an extra car actually. I was doing okay, taking care of myself. I was good. I didn't need anything. So why not? Let's see where this goes. So I go get them, bring them back to Atlanta. First mistake. What? Why am I going to get somebody and bringing them back? Anyway, everything was cool at first. Everything was good. We were happy. We were able to chill. Like that was the honeymoon phase, right? Except one thing. Okay, he's in the streets. He's the street dude all the way, not looking to do anything other than street. That's all he really knew. Well, that doesn't work for me. I'm trying to be Ivy League. You can't be street. I can't take you around. Like, no, we got to fix this. We got to fix this. You got to do something else because the street, that's not it. It's not working. You're going to go to school. You're going to do something and we're going to make you into something better than what you are. Because at this point, this is it. I'm not going to search for nobody else. You are going to be the one. And if I got to fix it to make you be the one, this is what I'm going to do. No, LaTora, that's wrong. But I didn't know it was wrong at the time. I thought I was right. I just had all the answers. We tried. He got a job. He tried to do things. He finished school, yes. We struggled. We struggled bad. We didn't know what we were doing. We were younger. I mean, we were moving, trying to get situated. Got to the point where it got so bad, I got laid off. He couldn't really get a job. We ended up being homeless. We ended up sleeping in our car. We ended up not having money to eat most times. It was rough. We couldn't take care of ourselves. I figured he'd be able to do it. And the only way for him to do it was to go back to the one thing that I knew wouldn't work for us. And that street that's doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. And I just didn't want to risk it. So we slept in our car through the cold. It got hard. I didn't want to go anywhere else. I had options, but not with him. So I wouldn't leave him. I decided, you know what? Nope. We're in this together. I had options. I could have went somewhere else, but I wouldn't leave because I felt like somewhere in there, I'm going to have to make this work. I am tired of trying. I'm tired of failing. I'm tired of not being the one to get married. Why am I always left? We did get married within that year. We didn't have anywhere to live. We moved so much. We moved to his mom's house. We stayed out of town for a while, came back. We were able to put together a wedding and we got married. He started to get angry. I started to get angry. We started to fight each other. We got to the point where we were fighting, verbal, physical. I mean, we were just fighting. He got placed. I came there with him. We got out of the street. I got sick and ended up hospitalized for a few days. And when I finally got out of the hospital, we had somewhere to go. I healed. It took me a while. I had to stop working for a while. I was working at Enterprise at the time because my job that I'm at now, they laid us off for lack of work or something like that. So I remember having to take a break. My first day back, after all the fighting, after everything, he wanted to call it quits because y'all, I wasn't going to leave. I was going to stick that marriage out. We shouldn't have been getting married. We weren't ready to get married, but I was so desperate to get married. I was so desperate to have a man that was going to choose me that I was willing to do whatever. I mean, we didn't even have a place to stay. We should have never been getting married. I think we were living with people at the time, but we didn't know that. We didn't think through that. I definitely didn't because no matter what it was on the inside, I wanted the outside to look like we were a union. That was short lived because he got to the point where it wasn't working for him. He told me I had to go. He put me out. I look back now, hindsight, that was God because I wouldn't leave. I was staying there till the end. But with him forcing the end to come, that was God protecting me because that's not where I was supposed to be. So I left. I went to work that day, not knowing what I was going to do. I had to go stay with friends till I could figure out what I was going to do. I was devastated. I spent so many years with this man, and for him to put me out after me sticking through it with him, I was homeless with that man. And you put me out, you pushed me out. That hurt me so bad. I didn't see myself the same. I wasn't the same anymore. At this point, anything that was good left in me was gone. Life was over for me. I was done. I had given up. I attempted suicide a few times, but I did not see a way out of it. I tried everything not to be here anymore. Distancing from friends, didn't want people to see me. I didn't recognize who I was in the mirror. I decided for myself that it was over. I was going to transfer. I was going to go somewhere else and then never be seen again because I was deciding that I didn't want to make it anymore. But God, I remember staying with friends. I remember getting to a completely depressing point where I would have done anything not to be who I was, to get out of the space I was in. I didn't want to know me. I didn't want to exist. And then my little sister was born. I have a little sister. We're 26 years apart. And I remember her being born. I don't remember much leading up to the birth because I was out of my mind. I couldn't remember a lot. Like a lot of things in my head are a blur. But I remember my sister being born. I remember being at the hospital. And then I remember carrying on life. And then I remember my dad and stepmom bringing her to see me, staying with my friends. And I held her, and she was so little. At that time, I had found my reason. I found my reason to keep going because I didn't have one. I had a plan to end it. I was out of here. I wouldn't be talking to you today, but I held that little girl, and it was a love I never knew before. I never knew it. And that is what saved me. That is what saved me. And that is what kept me going. I didn't know how. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to get on my feet, but I knew I had to survive for her. I had to be here for her to grow up. She needed to know me, and I needed to be someone that she knew. I said I wasn't going to cry. I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to cry because I'm healing. I'm not perfect. Sometimes when I think about these things, these aren't tears of pain. These are tears of joy because I am now deciding to turn my pain into purpose. I just needed a reason, and God gave me one at that very moment. I'm not going to say it wasn't rough, it wasn't hard, but I had decided that I was going to pull myself up. I was going to get it together. And by the time she could talk and look at me, I was going to be something she's proud of and she's going to love. I'm not going to go this route. I'm not going to be a bad example for her. So, in the midst of, I started to try to get a plan together. I decided I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. I no longer wanted to transfer because she's here. I have to be here now. Love babies. Couldn't have my own, but this is my little baby. I was excited for her. I was introduced to my current husband now from my friends. They knew each other, and so they introduced us. And I wasn't thinking about meeting anyone. I was so not in that headspace. But he was the plug, as you would say. He was the plug. She wanted to go out. She wanted to, because she was also going through stuff. We were all going through stuff. So we were all staying together. I never forget. She wanted to go out. You know, that is, some people cope that way. Some people feel better doing that. It takes your mind off, finding different things to do. But I was still in the back of my mind trying to figure out how I'm going to get out of this rut. What am I going to do? Because before this relationship, I had my own place. I was doing good. How did I fall? I can't fall again. So I meet him. We like each other. He's different. He's older. You know, I never dated anyone older before. They were always maybe just a few years or my age, but no one significantly older than me. It was nerve wracking at first. I was scared. I'm like, what? What is he gonna like about me? Like, I'm young. I have nowhere to go. I have nothing. What am I gonna do for him? Instead of just walking away from it, I said, well, you know what? Whatever. Let's just see. I mean, I don't have any real intentions of doing anything this way because he's like my dad's age in my mind. He wasn't. He's not. He's younger than my dad. But to someone who's 25, 26, you're looking at somebody that's 40 and you're like, uh, what are we going to talk about again? But it wasn't like that. He actually was so cool. Like, he's got a young soul. You know how they say he got an old soul? He's very young at heart. Like, he's older, he's wise, but he was very youthful, enough for me to find an attraction there. Like, enough for me to hold a conversation and date. Like, I was like, okay, I think I could date him. We went on a date. We hung out, you know, we talked for so long. We got to know each other to a place where we were drawn to one another. I don't know how that happened because I wasn't looking for it at all. And we became really good friends. We became really close. He let me come stay there to get on my feet because I didn't want to take advantage of my friends and where I was. You know, I didn't want to be that burden anymore. So I went to stay with him to try to find my way. And he helped me do just that. He helped me get on my feet, helped me get my place again, helped me get to a place where I could sustain and start to look in the mirror and see myself again. He wasn't a run out club, drink, drug. He wasn't that. So it became very easy. He used to ask me, why do you do that stuff? You don't have to do that to have fun. So instantly I stopped. Instantly I said, well, I don't want to do it. If you don't want to do it, mind you, I wasn't the one to make my own decisions. I went off of what everybody else wanted. So the minute he didn't want to do the stuff that I was doing or accustomed to, I stopped. It's like, oh, he ain't doing it, I ain't doing it. You know, and I always say he was another part of the reason I'm going to do this. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. Now, somewhere in there where I should have been healing and I should have been growing and I should have took that time to get better. You know what I did? I stopped all that and I put a band-aid on the bullet wound. I was broken, damaged, And instead of realizing that and saying, you know what, this is the time to take the hill, I started, you know what? Maybe this is my husband. Maybe God sent him for me. You know what? Now I'm going to become everything that he wants me to be. Yep, I'm going to do that. So that way I can be the woman that I am supposed to be. And I know that God sent him for me. That is what's supposed to happen. I don't know if I was just wild child. I don't know what was going on with me, but I wasn't getting the lessons. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do. He would tell me, I mean, we were friends. We weren't in a relationship at that time. He would tell me, like, that's not what this is. Like, we're just friends. We're not together. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're not together. I'm cool with that. We're not together. But I didn't know how not to be with someone. I was a serial monogamist. I went from relationship to relationship. I didn't know how to be single and just kick it. Everybody that I was dating or seeing, we were together. So as he would say we were not together and I would say we're not together, we started acting like we were together. Or I started acting like I was with him. I don't know. Somewhere in there, I stopped healing and I started getting attached to the relationship that him and I had. Not totally a bad thing, but within the friendship, I started to pick up other bad habits. So now I'm out here just, I don't know, confusing myself more with a lack of understanding because it wasn't his fault that he was mature enough to say, okay, we're not going to be in a committed relationship. We're just going to date. It was hurtful to me. So I started to look at it as being taken advantage of. I just didn't understand the level of a relationship that we were actually saying that we were in. I didn't understand it. That was something I wasn't used to. So that was damaging me more. And I didn't speak up about it because I didn't recognize that it was something that was triggering me to still feel like my fate is to be and to get whatever people are giving me. I'm going to stop there with the story time and I'm going to take you here. I want you to understand that everyone has a past. Everyone has gone through something that they're not proud of. But this is a no judgment zone. You can come back from anything. And let me tell you, I hold on to God so dearly because God has saved me through so much. I am overzealous with thanks because if he didn't love me the way that he loves me, y'all, I would not be sitting in front of this camera right now. He has saved me from myself, saved me from so many things. And I am so thankful for it. So I say that to say to you, like, do not give up. As long as you have breath in your body, your story is still being written. Your story is still being told. You still have time to make all the corrections. I am making those corrections. I had a lot to heal from. I have gone through so much. I've only hit the surface with some of the things I've gone through. But I'm here today to tell you that there is another side to that. I am getting up. I fell hard, but I'm getting up and I'll get to the rest of where I am. No matter where it takes me, no matter where I end up, I am going to be the best version of myself. And it's because of all the experiences I had. I'm thankful for them because they are what made me who I am today. I have a lot to give, a lot of love and a lot of wisdom to share. I've lived a little. And now that I'm 40, I'm serious about spending my time correcting the things that need to be corrected so I can live my best life. I love me some me, and I'm getting to know that girl so much. Like, you can't tell me nothing. Like, I enjoy the small things. I'm starting to remember the things I love, and I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I find the things that I want to do, and I'm comfortable setting my boundaries. And that is how I decided to rewrite my pink print. I'm writing my pink print. I'm writing my story. I'm not going to let anyone else tell it. So don't let anyone else tell yours. I'm here to tell you, if there's a will, there's a way. You can do it. I didn't think I could do it. I know I can do it now. And y'all going to see me. Y'all going to see me in the future and y'all are going to see the growth As we keep doing this, I'm growing, continuously growing. I'm doing it my way, but I always do it God's way. And I gotta add that pink sass. If you know, you know. Until next week, y'all.